Ring the bell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Slam Society. Welcome to my review show here of IWA Deep South Southern Outlaws from May 5th, 2024 from Tennessee, the USA, at an undisclosed location. I do not have that information, but that's okay. This is what we come to expect from IWA Deep South, just like Carnage Cup last year, where they were, out there in the woods, it seemed. I don't know if it's the woods. It looks like the woods to me. I'm from Australia, so to me that looks like the woods. But there's I'm not saying anything because there's a lot of places out here in Australia that look like that. A lot of farms, a lot of places, a lot of shrubbery in the background. But you gotta love the background as soon as the pay-per-view opens up, where you just see like a bunch of trucks and people just standing around, and then the referee was in a very tight outfit. I've never seen a referee outfit that looked like somebody who's wearing like an outfit to perform at the Tour de France or something like that. Anyway, let's crack on with this deathmatch show here for IWA Deep South. It's been a while since I covered a deathmatch show, as I stopped reviewing XPW some time ago, after Jasmine St. Clair and Ron Nemi left the company. By that point, for me, and I'm not trying to, take this time to, bag on or rag on XPW, but by that point, it was clear to me that there's no loyalty to people, especially people that had been there, who put their heart and soul into what they were doing there, and for them to just be kind of cast aside or to be made to feel like they shouldn't be a part of that company anymore, made me feel like I didn't want to cover it anymore. But IWA Deep South, I am keen to keep checking out their shows here. And the first matchup was the Deathmatch Juggalo, Brian White taking on Sergeant Jimmy Controversy. So Brian, I saw at the last Carnage Cup, which I thought was amazing. The guy was in so much pain from, I think, what was it? Rubbing alcohol being poured on his wounds. And it just looked like torture. Like something you'd expect from Guantanamo Bay or something like that. The way he was screaming. Good on you, Brian, for putting yourself through so much shit. Since the Carnage Cup, though, okay, look. Jimmy Controversy at the last Carnage Cup was killing me. I was laughing so much. I had tears in my eyes because he was supposed to be in a three-way, I believe, with Bryant Woods and Necro. And he was trying to be a part of the match, but they kept swatting him away. Every time he tried to get involved, they just grab him and just absolutely fuck him up. And it was like, just go away. Like, you get out of here. You're not supposed to be a part of this. But he was legitimately supposed to be in the match. Now what's popping me is that Jimmy Controversy within that time has somehow become a sergeant. He's got the hat. He's got the tie. The shirt, the collar on the shirt wasn't put on properly. Like, it was kind of like you could see the tie all the way around him. And it's just making me laugh that this guy somehow became a sergeant. There's no way he is a sergeant, okay? Anyway, immediately I see a table with forks sticking out of it, which is amazing. Jimmy goes through the border forks, but the camera work on that was absolutely shite. Come on, boys. Big spot like that coming up. I want to see it in the shot. Larry Legend and a guy by the name of Captain York Terry, I believe, was on commentary. And from the outset, I could tell that they were going to work well together. So I believe Sergeant Controversy grabbed a wiffle bat, which had rosebud leaves and, stems from a bush. Connected to it, and Larry Legend made me laugh the loudest here for the whole show, where he called it, because it's a bunch of sticks, an ultra-violent faggot, if you will. That's what a bundle of sticks is called, so it's perfect. The way just he hit the F, the A, the double G, the OT was fantastic. Controversy dominated the early goings on here. Brian was bleeding profusely. But one thing I do not like is when you have spots where the opponent is made to hold the light tubes up. Please don't make Larry Legend have to explain it that he was balancing it when it was quite clear that someone's holding it for the other. I know it's impossible to just place them on someone whilst they're standing and keep them there, but let's think of a different spot, boys. I think Jimmy needs to work on his bumping just a little bit. Obey interferes out of the blue, and Brian White got assaulted by Obey. And Obey was wearing some flip-flops, which also made me laugh. This demonic character, and he's wearing flip-flops. Jimmy handcuffs Brian, and then he whips him like a government mule. Then Lil Sicko and his group of misfit friends, the Circus of Chaos, they showed up. And they came out, and Lil Sicko hit an air raid crash onto Jimmy through the table and helped Brian pick up the win. Lil Sicko then got on the mic afterward to what appeared to show some support to Brian, who is, what's he known as? The Deathmatch Juggalo. Then after Jimmy left, Sicko then laid out Brian and his friends walk off with him. I didn't understand that, but that's fine. Maybe he wanted the Juggalo to win, but he still doesn't like him. I don't know. Second matchup here, John Alistair Wilson taking on the wrestling wizard Jamie Richards. I've never seen either of these guys before. If you're called the wrestling wizard, Jamie, please invest in some sort of wizard hat for your entrance. Come on, man. That would pop me. Maybe you think that's lame, but I think it'd be funny. Didn't like the beginning here where Jamie he was going to let John smash a light tube over his head, but then John busted it over his own head. What are you doing, boys? Is the mental health, is it really that low? I know I'd look at things a little bit too literally sometimes. I do not also like when you hand an opponent a weapon. Who would do that? Like, okay, you're belting him and you just hand it to him. The dick measuring contest thing that I see in pro wrestling and deathmatch wrestling these days, to me, that doesn't work for me, brother. I've never liked that. That's just me, okay? The match kept stopping and starting, right? I'm sorry that this has a lot of negative comments here. John Alistair kept on like he went to the outside. It seemed that they would stop and start in the ring, and then we'd start over again. I don't know what was going on there, but Jamie Richards won with, I believe, a Joker driver, they call it, through a barbed wire table, which was a very good finish. I just felt this match was very start and stop. It didn't quite get going the way that I was expecting it to. Let's move forward. Obey has his next matchup in IWA Deep South as he takes on Riot Jake Andrews. Loved the German suplex onto the light tube at the beginning. Very nice bump there, Jake. Obey looks to have improved a lot since I last saw him perform. From what I gather, Obey has not had that much training from what somebody said. I don't know who said it, but somebody said it to me and I remembered that. Two of the ladies at ringside, I didn't catch their names properly. I know that they said their names on commentary, but they might have needed their names on the nameplates of the wrestlers as they were making their entrance, because the audio wasn't the clearest on commentary, which is to be expected when you're out in the middle of Tennessee there, on a big lot of land, it seems. But I don't have their names, but they were arguing. And the cameraman wasn't shooting it at first. And I'm like, bro, I don't know if the cameraman need like an earpiece to hear what the commentators are saying, but you need to be able to know what you're shooting and shoot what the commentators are trying to talk about and look at. Have to say, and I'm sorry, Jake, and I'm sorry, Obey. I could see the effort being put in here, but I don't think this match was put together very well. I thought it was a very confusing situation between the two of you. Jake got something spat into his eyes, and then he managed to get himself into the ring. Obey laid him out and hit a stiff elbow drop off the top rope for the win. I did like the win. That was a nice elbow drop, Obey, and props to Jake for taking it like a man. But again, I felt like the match was a little bit messy and I don't know. There's a lot of the time with some of these matches, it seems like guys just hit each other with weapons over and over again, and there's no suspense to a spot taking place. There's no suspense to a tube being crushed through, or a table being, someone being put through a table. You need to look at some of these old Japanese death matches with Atsushi Onita, and the way they tease a spot and tease a spot before you finally get it. That's the way you get that crowd to really be more involved, because you're pulling on their heartstrings, you're pulling on their suspense. That's what you need to go for with a match like this. You don't want to keep on going down that same route of constantly just hitting each other with weapons, no selling things, handing people a weapon to hit you with, and then no selling it. There is an art to this, and it's not too difficult, I believe, to pull it off. Anyway, I'll continue forward. Hardcore Hillbilly taking on the Body here, who's making his return to pro wrestling. I'm surprised to see the Body booked because of what happened a few months ago, something he said on a podcast that upset a lot of people. Although I will say, I know some people can, when they're messed up, when they've had a bit to drink, can say stupid shit sometimes. And it doesn't mean that 99% of their existence means that they are a horrible person. I'm aware of that. People can make mistakes. So look, for me, I can give him another chance. And it's not like I ever, I don't know. I don't know really what the situation was about, but I was surprised to see him back here. They were a little quicker out of the gate here with these two. Body got some firecrackers blown up around and on him. I really did like that spot. I especially liked it when Hillbilly kicked the firecrackers to ensure that the rest of them were underneath Body as they were exploding. Good, quick thinking there, Hillbilly. I thought, though, after that, Body should have been hit with a move and pinned, but they kept going a little bit longer. I did like Larry Legend's comment with the water cooler that was on top of the stick being hit into Body's head, and he said, "Yeah, if you want a little water cooler talk, Hillbilly will be your Huckleberry." Very funny. Eventually, Hillbilly hit look, I'm sorry, bro. It was a shitty Bossman slam onto some thumbtacks. That should have been the finish, bro. I don't know why you needed to choke him for the submission, but it is what it is. That's just me. Let's move forward. Apologies if I have been a little negative on some of the matches so far. I'm pretty lenient on IWA Deep South. I'm pretty lenient on CZW and XPW when I've done reviews, when there have been matches where it's death match. I get what death match is. It's supposed to be a bit of a mess. It's supposed to look like a fight. It's supposed to look like two guys that are just getting all fucked up, all kinds of fucked up. Okay, I understand that, but also you can implement some sort of psychology, and you have to know when to finish. That was the perfect time to finish the match. Tommy Trainwreck took on the controversial one, Kato, or the Kato-versial Nightmare, I believe is the other name he has. He has Naomi Nightmare at ringside. I caught her name. These guys look like they're a little bit more experienced, which is good. Tommy Trainwreck, as far as I was concerned, I thought in the early goings here, he was my favorite at this point of the show. Never seen him perform before, but he was executing moves well. He moves quicker. He was not stuck in the mud. He was crisp. He took a bat to the head and immediately knew what to do. You take a bat to the head that has tacks in it. The tacks get stuck on your head. He doesn't just lay there or sell to himself and to the people looking in his general vicinity. No, he immediately looked for the crowd and the camera to show the bleeding, show the tacks in the head. That's what you got to do. He looked for it. You got the shot. That's what you're looking for. You're always looking for the shot. You need the shot. That's something I think Terry Funks always used to say, like, make sure you get the shot. Make sure if there's something that's happened that you get your face out there and you get it right in the camera and people get the shot. I like the back and forth punches and then a double tube shot for a double down between these two. I thought Kato was very good and good at his selling in this matchup. Naomi got clocked with the cookie sheet, which I did laugh at because she copped it sweet, bro. Then Trainwreck hit a Death Valley driver through light tubes on a table on the outside for the victory. I thought that was a great finish. Then what was very interesting was that you could hear some sirens in the background, and it appeared that the boys in blue, the police, had shown up on live pay-per-view here for IWA Deep South. It can't be an IWA Deep South show without the cops showing up, right? I thought that this was quite humorous and interesting to see. I thought it was also interesting seeing people sitting in the crowd and they had their hands up. Is that normal in the US? Is that normal? Because if it was Australia, we'd just be like, hey, gown, sir, how can we help you? It's a different world over there, I suppose. And then you saw Kevin Brannon go off to talk to the police, which I thought was funny. Then Kato, Virtual Nightmare, he cut a promo during all this drama. I have a feeling I saw something on Facebook where he's in the hospital or something, and he might need some help with medical bills. So I'll put a link in this description for the GoFundMe for his hospital bills, because apparently he's not feeling too good right now. So please donate. I think they're looking for about $1,500 or $1,500. So it all gets sorted, and there's a Deep South chant, and the show goes on. Let's continue on. John Rare gets in the ring, the retired John Rare. He's on the mic, and he wants to be out of retirement one more time again. He calls Brian White into the ring, who's already lost a match so far. He starts off beating Brian down with tubes and skewers. It's like he's turned on Brian here. Brian gets abused and has enough. He fights back, but a ball bat to the dick changes that. Soon after this, Brian White just leaves the ring, and Bryant Woods shows up, and John Rare powders, and it appears the match was over. It went to a no contest for some reason. I'm sure it's leading to some sort of thing with John and Brian at maybe a future IWA Deep South show. Anywho, let's move forward. 6-man tag team, total defecation death match. The Nation of Defecation, Boris Dookie, Cowboy Troy, and Mikey took on the Turd World Order, Demon Turdy, Nikolai Cash, and Turdy. That's what CageMatch.net says. There's a Demon Turdy and just a regular Turdy. I would just call yourself regular Turdy. Larry Legend says that this is a continuation of a shitfest from the Carnage Cup. And if you want to talk about dump, you got to talk about what you're going to see next. And I knew from the outset this was going to be absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. I am usually very lenient, everyone. But got to call a spade here. I've got to tell you what I thought. I didn't think I could review this match because it seemed clear to me nobody in this match had been trained. I'm seeing some bumps from, I think, Nikolai and Boris, which was two guys who had not learned how to bump, just crumpling to the floor. I understand that this is maybe like a little comedy thing, maybe IWA Deep South does. I thought Mikey appeared to get the mechanics of working not too bad in comparison. I thought Cowboy Troy had some good headlock punches. There's some compliments, boys. I didn't have much to say about the turds, other than I apologize, but the finish was terrible. Wrong person to be catching a crossbody, wrong person to be delivering a crossbody, and the guy who got pinned had his shoulder up the whole time. Usually I'm fairly understanding that there might be some untrained guys on the show, but the gimmicks are awful and childish, and to me it doesn't work. Maybe I'm not getting it. Maybe someone needs to explain something to me with that, but I think it's too childish. It's not, look, Larry Legend uses this time to make references to poo the whole time. It's just, I don't know. I'm 37 years old, boys, okay? Second last matchup on the show here, three-way death match. Tarzan Duran, Jay Blade, and Lil Sicko. Lil Sicko, yes, I remember him from the Carnage Cup last year. I think he's pretty good. Never thought I'd say thank God for Tarzan Duran. I was excited to see somebody who was a little bit more experienced on this show. Nothing against anyone else who had been on the show thus far. Nice opening spot between the two, but it was a bit messy from there. Tarzan was keeping it together like weekly adhesive. I'll try that again. Weekly adhesive glue. I don't know how he keeps the joint in his match the whole match. It's impressive. Lil Sicko got suplexed onto a table with porcupine quills on it. Dude, he became a porcupine. He looked exactly like a porcupine after he took that bump. There were so many quills sticking out of him. I thought to myself, you really are a little sicko, mate. They went for a spot on Tarzan, which completely got messed up. Bound to happen with all of this carnage out there. J Blade with a cartwheel into a drop kick was very good, but Sicko no sold it. Soon after, Sicko hit a Spanish fly or a Sicko fly onto J Blade through the kiddie pool with tubes and stuff that was on a table between two chairs or door or whatever. That was a very good finish, boys. And at this point, I thought that, oh, geez. You know what? Tommy Trainwreck's first match was probably the best match on the show. This is probably second. Okay, let's get to our main event of the day here. IWA Deep South Heavyweight Championship on the line. Looked like some sort of light tube death match with all the tubes taped to the ropes. It is Brian Woods, the champion, taking on Michael Kruger. I like the name Michael Kruger. Very, that's creative. I'm surprised nobody's thought of putting those two names together before. Like Marilyn Manson was a mix of Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson. Why hasn't anyone thought to, where's my Freddie Myers when you need him? We've got Michael Kruger here. Woods attacked at the outset during Kruger's entrance. Liked the German suplex by Kruger. I have a feeling, and I think I was right. I think I read something that I think Tommy Trainwreck is actually Michael Kruger. So I think he did double duty. Okay, that's it. Tommy Trainwreck was wrestler of the show here if he wrestled in the two best matches on this show. Woods came back with some brutality. It starts raining, of course, which of course it would happen on the day that you've booked so many months in advance. Of course, it ended up raining. Bloody hell! That must be so annoying, Kevin. Kruger shoulder blocks Bryant through a door. He had push pins, sticking out of his arm. Like I'm talking like the real pins that are long, which was a great visual. Kruger DDT'd by Bryant out of a choke slam attempt, which was nice. The referee cut his hand, I think. Cowboy Troy took over, and then another referee took over. We got a power slam onto tubes by Bryant Woods after Kruger hit into the tubes in the side of the ring. This wasn't too bad, this matchup here. Kruger with a sit-down choke slam, which defies physics and gravity. Sorry, you can't hit a choke slam on somebody who's taller and heavier than you. That's just me, bro. Okay, that's just me. I can suspend my disbelief for so long. Okay, weed whacker to the stomach. After excuse me. Kruger got power bombed onto a razor blade board, and he kicked out, but then got a weed whacker to the gut. Power bomb onto the razor wire board again. And I was surprised that he made the rotation over, considering it looked quite slippery out there. And Bryant Woods wins the match, retains the championship in the main event here. And you know what? Afterward, Bryant got up to the camera and he challenged Homeless Jimmy, the XPW King of the Deathmatch champion, for a title versus title match. So that is very interesting. To give this show a rating, I'm going to, oh man, I have to put things on their own merits, right? Right? I'm not expecting WWE production. I'm not even expecting XPW production here. They're outside in the woods. For an IWA Deep South show, I'll give this a 7 out of 10. If I was rating it on the level that I expect from other companies, it might be lower. But for them, look, 7 out of 10 is when I say it's a good show. 7.5 to 8 is like a great show. 9 is excellent. 10 is perfect. So it's a good show. Don't think that that's too low of a rating. So I was going to end this review by, once again, as I've been doing the last few months, responding to some tweets about the show, but I couldn't find any tweets about the show other than Larry Legend talking about the lunch that he ate and a couple of guys on the show talking about how much fun that they had. So glad everyone had fun. And I promised Kevin that I would review this IWA Deep South show, which is, of course, Southern Outlaws. I'm Karlifornia here for the Slam Society. If you have not already, please like and subscribe this video and our channel, excuse me. I'll get my shit out as best I can soon. Like and subscribe to our channel and like the video, and also hit the bell so you get all of our videos as soon as we put them out. So once again, thank you for being here on the Slam Society. Check out my review here of IWA Deep South Southern Outlaws on May 5th in Tennessee. I'm Karlifornia, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.